Good morning, everyone. How are you? Hope your day is going well. My peeps are still here, but I told them be quiet. I shooshed them upstairs. So, talk about some new product today. Hold on, let my camera get caught up on Facebook here, so I can make sure I'm staying where I need to stay. Let's go. Seems to take forever. Here we go. All right. Oh, let's mute that. All right. Looks like you could see everything. As always, thank you for shopping with me, keeping me going. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is this beautiful paper that we have coming in November. Actually, it is November. Happy November 1st. So, just a couple of days. And this item is 164919, and it is Marbled Elegance. And I just wanted to show you this because I thought, you know, some of this you could use for Christmas, or you could use for Valentine's, which is what it's intended for as I go through. And I just think it's really pretty. Now, granted, this is a little loud and in your face, but a little will go a long way, and you'll see what I mean by that in just a bit. On the cards that we're making, can anybody guess what cards we're making? Does anybody out there say hi? So that's all the front side. You get 2 sheets of each. Now let's go to the back. I love this little hearts. Give you a close-up to that, hopefully. You can see them. There we go. Looks like my lights got a little shadow on it today. Don't know why. A nice stripe. Again, it's got some variation in it. It's not like totally straight. See if you can see that any better. Nope. It's always prettier in person. I love this one. It's got pretty little flowers. Tone on tone. This back side is pretty much tone on tone. Love this one too. This is the leaf pattern, which is really pretty. I'll hold that there for a sec so you can see that. Okay, that's the first thing. One more paper pack that's coming is this, and hopefully this doesn't get too, let's see if that's any better. So this is a gold and silver, and it looks really bad on camera, but there's not a lot I can do about it. And it is not just flat, it has like these lines. Let's see if that helps at all. And here's the gold. And you get 3 sheets of each of these, and the number is 164861. And this is called Brushed Silver and Gold Foil. Okay. Another new item coming is the Cake Celebrations. This is a photopolymer stamp set. The item number is, Mom? The number is 164870, and it's a wonderful set. It's got your happy birthday, your celebrate anything, your happy anniversary, happy wedding day, happy retirement, and the peeps are going to be peeping. So the next, sorry, my mind's distracted. The next item is 164874, and that is the dies to go with the cake, and it's called Cake Celebration Die to go along with Cake Celebrations. So what I do for mine is I put a magnetic sheet in here and put my dies in here, and there's always little extra bits in here. And then the other thing that I do is as I use them, I put them here, so I know what I haven't used and what I have used, and so I'm kind of checking them as I go. Put this one back where it goes. So there's this really thin sheet and then a really thick sheet. So I just protect them from hanging up like that. There's plenty of room in here. There's like at least 1/4 of an inch, if not a little more, so they don't get squished on the dies. And shall we get started? All right. So what we are using is some Mellow Mambo. I also used this embossing folder, which I hope you can see. Don't know if it, not really. So I'll show you it on here. This is some white, and that's actually the back side. Here's the front side. And it's just got this wonderful 3D grid. And if you like that one, it is called Dashing Designs 3D. It is 163483. Somebody let me know if I'm speaking too softly. And you can see I just cut out a couple of cake pieces out of this just to give it some texture, okay? And then the other thing that I used were the Opal Round Assortment, 163298. Now these are kind of, they kind of mimic opals, I guess, is the best way to describe it. There's some soft yellow, or I don't even know if you could call it yellow. It's not quite cream either. And then white and blue. And this actually goes with the Mediterranean blooms. So just because you buy bling in a certain suite, don't think that you can't pull out all of your bling and see what matches. I just set the clear sheet on my project and say, oh, okay, that will work. No, that won't work. And so on and so forth, okay? So don't be afraid of whatever colors you have, because you never know when something's going to really match, which is fun. Okay, and the card that I made for this first one is this one right here, and I'll let you get a screenshot. I used a Melon Mambo for ink, just a little strip of this. And some of that brushed gold, also in the extra dies. Hold on just a second, everyone. Okay, I'm back. So this little die is what I call an extra die. And it is, why I call it extra is because you can use it without using the stamp set, the stamp that coordinates with it, okay? And I love that about Stampin' Up. They have tons of extra dies. I'm gonna hold this up so you can see that texture on there. This little paper adds a great frosting look. And the flowers I also cut out of this paper and then stamped them with the Mellow Mambo. Did I say that right? Melon Mambo. And this is a piece of cardstock that is that same color to go with the ink. So there's card 1. Card 2 I'll give you some tips on. So that's a girl version, and now we're going to make a boy version. And I have a piece of cardstock that is 3 3/4 by 5 inches that'll be on the front. I am using Crushed Curry, Early Espresso, and Blue, Boho Blue. So I'm going to open those up. I like to put my yellows kind of over away, and I love that the color is right here so I can see which color I'm dealing with. So I'm just kind of spacing them out, so I have to kind of go over here, so I have to look. If you put them side by side, you might go in the wrong one. Believe me, I've done it before. All right, so this one we're going to make a background with a couple of those stamps. It's a little easier to see them on here. It's these little foofs, as Rachel would call them. Hi, Rachel. And they're just little extra bits that are great for making random backgrounds, or just adding here or there. So I'm going to start with the blue, and you notice that I've put 2 stamps on 1 block. That makes it a little easier too. And I should actually, hold on a sec. I should actually put this on. I can clean this off pretty easily, but I usually have a piece of scratch paper, but it's kind of a little bit more off camera than what I would like. So I want to make sure, as I rip everything apart, I want to make sure that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. Back to our blue. I am going to do it a little differently. Normally I tell you start in one corner and work your way down, but we're changing colors. So I want to make sure that I'm turning my block and that I'm going kind of really spaced out. So I'm just going to work my way around this piece of white paper. And I can always go back, so I'm going to clean it off, and then I'm going to tap it to make sure that we're dried. Sometimes if your stamp is not dry and you put it in the ink, it'll ball up, so it won't give you as good a color as you want. And let's next go into our yellow. And remember that these are really, kind of think of these as a sponge. So you just want to lightly touch. And we're going to make sure that we rotate. And you notice I'm not slam stamping. I'm just kind of gently laying it down. And why I keep turning it is because I'm watching if I've got a big one or a little one. Okay? And making sure that I mix them up a little bit. And remember, you don't want too much. You can always go back and add more of whatever color you think you need. Here's my last color, which is the Early Espresso. And I'm just gonna go around. And you notice that I've got a lot of ink on there, so I'm gonna wipe that off. Sorry about my arm. Because I don't want that. That just means I pushed way too hard when I inked it up. Okay. And sometimes I'll turn my sheet around as I go. And you've noticed I only added 1. Sometimes I just add 1 where I need it. But these are spread out far enough that it doesn't look too bad. And less is more. And that's okay, messed up a little bit. Hey, life's not perfect, right? Okay, so that's part of how I made the background. And I took something off of a block. I'm going to get the happy, peel them off gently. And the more that you line them up on your grid paper, or your mat, glass mat, and line them up, then the easier they are to start off lined up. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of happy, and that one's upside down. That's okay. So since I did that one as a boo-boo upside down, I'm going to make sure that I do turn a couple upside down, just so it doesn't look so much like a boo-boo. Remember, less is more. So I'm just adding a little tiny bit and a little tiny bit. We're done. All right, and we're almost done. I've got one more thing to show you. But since I'm only using the blue, I'm going to go ahead and close up the other 2 ink pads. And if you have any questions on anything I'm using and you want more information, just give me a little text, or you can comment on this video. I'd also love it if you'd go over to YouTube and share and like and subscribe. Okay, just one of these nice little foam brushes. I dipped it, tapped it off, and I am going to come kind of at an angle, so I'm not putting too much on. You can put a little more here, a little less there, kind of thing. I just want a little bit of an edge so it doesn't look like it's floating off of the page when I add it. to the card. So we're just going to go around, and virtually I'm just using what's left on that, and it doesn't look like much until you pick it up, and then it actually is a lot of color. I'll put it down on there so you can maybe see that color, and if you want to have a screenshot of that, let's see, focus, come on, focus. That's a little more focused. Okay. So that's all there is to making your own background, or another way to do it. You've seen me, like I said, do it in the past a little differently. Let's get rid of all this ink stuff. All right. And on to the next thing I wanted to show you. So that's the background of it. Next, I want to show you this little piece, which I don't know if you can see, which looks like, let's see if that helps any. Not really. Let me show you on the stamp set. It is this little cluster right here. To me, it kind of looks like frosting that went bad. Or, you know, somebody just did that stipply kind of look on it. And where's my tape pieces? They're floating around here somewhere. Where'd they go? Oh no. Oh, here they are. All right. So, again, so you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to put it on my little glue mat, and I'll just wash that off in a bit. I'm going to use Early Espresso again, and I'm going to keep saying this for forever for my close to my heart girls. Just lightly tap on that very juicy sponge, okay? So we can see we're inked up. I'm going to put most of the bulk of this on the bottom and kind of leave it not as much textured on the top. And then I'm going to go in and do the same thing with this one, like so. So I'm giving you all the elements, and then I'll show you the card. And then we're going to actually go back to the blue, because I forgot I did something with the blue yet. And you really want that to dry just a smidge more. Let me get rid of this. Wash that off. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend them. They're only $6.50, and it's the silicone mat, and you can put a puddle of glue here, dip and do your gluing, let it dry, and it comes off, okay? Or if you're putting your roll adhesive, your, what is it, snail? If you're putting your snail on and it's bigger than your item, you can put your snail on, and it won't stick to here, but it also won't be on the edges of your piece unless there's holes in it or something. So I really like that. All right, I'm gonna bring this back in. I'm just giving this a little bit of time to dry. It is dye-based ink, so it does dry quickly. And I'm gonna see what I have left on here, because I just want a soft, I just want to kind of give that edge a little bit of color. And I'm going to kind of hit the edges, but then I want to just drag it across, kind of like you decorated the cake a little bit like that. And this is a little bit different than I did the other one. The other one, on the card sample, I kind of put my darker color here on where the darker splotches are, and then used what was left on the bottom part. Okay, so you could do it either way. Again, I'm always hitting it from the edge, and because this has a deckled edge, it's not completely straight, it will pick up on those corners or those edges really nicely. Okay, so that's all I did for that. So there's our cake, if you will. And here's the finish. So those are your elements. Here's the finished one. I did this on boho blue cardstock. Added my white. I've got a little bit of espresso here and a little bit of crushed curry. There's another little piece die cut in there. That this is kind of just a plate instead of a cake stand. I thought it was a little more masculine to do it that way. And then I raised up my cake and my candles. And I added in, now this is from the mini catalog, the Regal Foil Adhesive Back Dots, 164038. Again, ask me any questions you want. Now these are meant for really different colors, like Cherry Cobbler, and I think it's Misty Moonlight. I can't remember what the green was. Does it say on here? No. But you can see, I just put it down and said, oh, well, that blue matches quite nicely, even though this is meant to be another blue. And if you put it up to that other blue, it really is pretty there. Almost could have used those little red colored ones. And that's how I do that. So, new stuff coming. Don't forget to mix it with all of your other stuff, I guess is a tip that I'm telling you. And don't forget to add a little texture. I'm going to pull this out of the way, put my number 1 and number 2. And as always, I'd like to know which one you like, number 1 or number 2 better. And if you have suggestions on what you'd like to see me use, if I haven't, just give me a comment and I will try and use it next time. I hope you all have a great day and a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next Friday with another tip or two and something pretty to share. Bye now.